Excellent. Well, thank you so very much. And next up, we have iEmergent. So we have Bernard Nasali, and he is going to talk with us about the mortgage market smart iEmergent. So Laird, who is the CEO of iEmergent, has been on several of our panels. For the 12 days of TMC, and Bernard has been very supportive in getting us all of the information that we need, and is very active. You're top of the leaderboard, I believe, still for all of our activities and photo postings and things like that. If you want ideas on your elf on the shelf, I saw some really great examples of what your elves need to be doing at night from Bernard on our photo posts. So thank you for engaging in Whova and making it fun for all of us. And thank you for being here today.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thanks for having me. So first question is, why are we here today? We are here because the home buyer pool is changing. So what does that mean? People who are actually getting mortgages is changing. Therefore, lenders have to change. Right? So let me share with you a couple of statistics. One is from the Urban Institute. And then they said that all future net household growth will come from non-white households. Okay? From non-white households from 2020 to 2040. Number two is actually from us is we are forecasting $2.4 trillion, that's trillion with a T, $2.4 trillion of purchase mortgage opportunity for non-white households in the next 5 years, okay? And the reason that we have to do this is because what we have been doing in the industry has not been working. Okay, why? Because we know that homeownership rate for whites is 74%. For Asians, 60%, for Hispanics, 48%, and for African Americans, 44%. All right, we can do better. And although I'm going to talk about what you see, the map here in the platform, I can't cover all of the features, but we're going to talk about a new way to look at your markets proactively with diversity being central, and then where lenders are driven by opportunity instead of risk, okay? So the idea here is that I'm showing you the Dallas market. We can do this for any market in the US, but this is the Dallas market by county. And for 2022 purchase originations, okay? So red counties mean more opportunity, blue counties mean less opportunity. And again, by opportunity, just talking about purchase mortgage units and dollars. So if I am to click on the Dallas County, for example, we can see that it's a $20.6 billion market just by itself. So as a lender, I would want to get a little bit more granular in order to identify the pockets of opportunity within the market. And so what I'm doing now is showing you those pockets. So we're looking at it at the census tract level or neighborhood level. Okay, and so, but it's the same concept with red census tracts, meaning more opportunity, blue, less opportunity. So now as a lender, now that I know where the opportunity is, I want to see where my branches are relative to the opportunity. So let's see the stars. And then finally, I want to see how well I've been doing, where have I been originating my loans. Okay, I can see that by the green circles that I've included. And so that is for total purchase. So if I take off my loans and my branches for a moment, I'm going to ask my viewers to please take just a little mental snapshot of the map and remember where those red and orange census tracts are. Okay, because if I wanted to segment this market by, let's say, race and ethnicity, the opportunity would be different. So first of all, here is the opportunity for African American borrowers in Dallas. Here is the opportunity for Hispanic borrowers in Dallas. You can see how the pockets shift a little bit. And then here is the opportunity for Asian borrowers in Dallas. Again, more pockets to the northeast. So the whole idea is that we can segment the market by race and ethnicity. We can also segment it by borrower income. So if I wanted to identify where the LMI or CRA census tracts are, I could do so, and I've done so by these purple census tracts. I can also isolate these, and I'm going to take off all the other layers in the map. So all we have left are those LMI census tracts. And again, if I put my branches back on and put my loans back on, I can see how well I've been doing relative to LMI and CRA. But not only that, is not only knowing where they are, it's identifying the opportunity within them. So now I can quantify the opportunity. And if I zoom in to this branch, for example, I would say, all right, if you know, LMI lending is a top priority for me, then I need to focus on, for example, this census tract with 108 loans that we're forecasting in 2022. And also these areas over here where we're saying 113 loans in this orange census tract, 157 in this one, and another 116. So because if we put our loans back on, we can see that, hey, we're leaving opportunity on the table, right? We have not done a good job of lending to LMI borrowers for this specific branch. Okay. And one more, in addition to LMI or CRA census tracts, and I'll zoom back out so that we can see, we can also identify majority minority census tracts in green, and again, segment the market however you want to look at it. All right, so let me go back to my Hispanic opportunity for a moment. Okay. And again, I'm going to take off, or actually, I'm going to look at this branch and say, all right, well, relative to our Hispanic opportunity for this branch, there's a ton of opportunity just to the north. Okay. And we can clearly see that we have not originated a single loan in this area. So what I can do is actually just focus on this area and create a submarket, what we call a mortgage opportunity zone. And so here, I'm just showing you that geography to the north of the branch. Okay. And the idea is, all right, if as a company, we said, hey, we need to improve our lending to Hispanic borrowers, how can we do that? How can we do that with this specific branch? Well, we can do that by saying, okay, first is showing the loan officer or branch manager sitting here where the opportunity is, but then going a step further and making the data actionable. How? Because we can add live MLS listings to the map. So each diamond that you see represents a live listing, and I'll just pick one. So we can see this is 6439 Leppy Way, and here's the list price, but oh, by the way, here's the listing agent name and contact information. Okay, I can even segment my MLS listings to say, you know what, this is great, this is for all of Dallas, but I want to still focus just on that area to the north of our branch. So I can actually filter my listings to just be those ones in that submarket. Okay, and the best part is now I can go to a spreadsheet view of these listings. And what happens is that I get the entire universe of listings. So 509 active listings in just that smaller geography. So I can get really precise and I can export this to Excel. Or I can also go to my By Agent tab, which provides me two tools. As a loan officer, number one is that this provides me with a top listing agent list. Okay, so these are the top listing agents, and here's their contact information. And they're the top listing agents because, for example, Ben Caballero has 536 active listings. And over the past 12 months, he's had over 8,400 listings. He's sold 2,700 properties with an average close price of $420 and average days on the market. That's what he's done in Dallas overall. But since you notice that I narrowed our view to just that geography to the north of the branch, I can see that Ben has 27 listings, current listings in just that geography, in that submarket. And Faraz has 28, and Michelle has 28. Patrick has 19. So the idea is, again, getting very pinpoint, very precise about how to develop business relationships with the right people in the right areas of your market. Okay, so in addition to showing you who the agents are, we can also determine who the top loan originators are. So this is a tool that shows you since January 1st, for residential properties, Bijou Paul is the #1 loan originator. And we can tell with all the companies that are listed here that Bijou is a broker. So he's originated $511 million in the US in total, and 340 million in Dallas-Fort Worth specifically. Okay, so if I wanted to talk to Bijou about, for recruiting purposes, I could click on his MLS ID and his profile comes up, and I could tell right away, okay, he's originated 910 residential loans, and this is his volume. If I were to ask him, how much do you produce? And if he said, 400 million, you might say, that's a little bit off. But if you said, hey, I do about 320 million, you could say, great, that matches, that's about right. And we could also check all of his individual transactions at the property level. Okay. So in addition to showing you who the top loan originators are, we can actually pivot this information to give it to you by lender. So now what I'm seeing is Rocket Mortgage is the #1 lender in 2021 in Dallas. All right. And so I can see what Rocket has done in the US in total in these columns, and then in Dallas specifically here. So the idea is, again, if I said to you, okay, well, I need a top loan originator, but I need that top loan originator not in all of Dallas, because that's what it's showing, but again, in that specific submarket that I've created here. And so instead of potentially Bijou being the top loan originator, in my specific geography, I can take a look. And once this returns, I can see that actually it's Rachel Rubio who's #1, who's the best or most active loan originator here. Again, this helps you get very precise. And the final thing is, in terms of doing a search, we can do searches for recruiting purposes. We can do specific searches by loan originator. So if you wanted to say, you know what, starting September 16th of this year, I want to see loan originators who've done at least 20 loans in Dallas-Fort Worth, and this is my list. So again, very flexible in terms of recruiting. So the last piece is, again, I couldn't cover everything that we have, but again, it's being mindful of looking at your markets proactively, making sure diversity is central and that you have that lens when you're looking at your markets, and finally being driven by opportunity instead of risk. So if you have any questions or would like to know more, especially for a market you're interested in, then please go to iEmergent.com and click request a demo.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bernard. I really appreciate that. Just so it's an infinite amount of data, right?
Yeah.
And the products that you guys have developed really do allow the lender to pinpoint, just really drill down and get specific into what it is that they're looking for. Now, how do once they start to talk with you, I think one of the things that kind of sets you guys apart as well is that you guys are consultants. I mean, you don't just say, here it is, have fun with it, right?
Exactly right. There's we have kind of we've developed a white glove product or approach, if you will, where we can either teach you how to use the system so that you can do all your analyses and you're comfortable there, or you can say, hey, we don't have the bandwidth or the resources, but we know what information we want. You get it for us. And so I or my team at iEmergent would be able to consult, just as you said, in terms of, hey, how do we grow in our existing markets? How do we grow in a new market? What segments should we hit? Where's our best opportunities? And we can consult market by market on some of the best steps that we think.
Yeah, true partnership there. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys being part of the 12 days of TMC and being part of TMC as a whole, and everything that you guys bring to the table. The conversation for DMI and LMI lending and just that borrower focus is so important and will be so important for 2022 that I think that your the expertise that you bring to the conversation is just it is just priceless. So we really appreciate you.